Let's see here. My computer is giving me a hard time. Oh, don't tell me it's not going to do it. Ah, shit. There she goes. Wow. I got to go through my computer here and delete a whole bunch of crap because I am running out of memory. How's everybody doing? I am exhausted. I'm so tired. Hope everybody's doing okay. Still sore. Every time I do one of my smokers cough, it hurts. They're just bruised. They're just bruised. My my left chest is a little swollen, but I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm just sore and it is what it is, right? Hey Gab, how's it going? I see ya. AK lady, thanks for asking about the ribs. I stayed strong. You held your ground. I try to. I can get kind of verbal. But yeah, I was just gonna check in with everybody here. Furry said she might chime in after a while. Yeah, I came home, took a shower, changed, relaxed, got something to eat. Worked on a few of the clips, vid clips. Posted one of them you guys saw, most likely saw. And took a little nap. Ended up taking a little nap. One of the last clips I watched was Furry going over her video she did going over that temporary restraining order. Yes, Furry, we will go out again in the future. I got to heal up here. There's Furry. Furry, Furry. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, a little sore though. Every time I cough, my smoker's cough, I feel it. But other than that, it's okay. My knee's kind of skinned up. Wah, wah, wah. Ain't no thing. Ain't no thing but a chicken wing. That's the hazards of going out filming. Yeah, definitely. I saw that for. Oh, but yeah, I'm just checking in. Let everybody know that since I didn't let them take me to the hospital, I didn't come home and croak or something. I'm not coughing blood, nothing like that. I just think I'm bruised. I think my ribs are bruised. That's about it. Yeah, it could have been worse. It was. It was. I felt it definitely, but looking back at the different angles, I don't want to sugarcoat it. I'm not sugarcoating it, okay? What they did was bullshit, in my opinion. And I'll explain why. You probably already heard me explain why, but I'll explain why again in this live stream. Uh, but I don't. This isn't intended to sugarcoat it. But looking back at the different angles, if they wanted to, they could have busted my ribs. If you look at the takedown, that was probably one of the most. I'm not gonna say gentle because it wasn't gentle. They tripped me. They let me go down, and they didn't try to restrain me from smacking my chest and my GoPro into my chest on the cement. But I landed like this, holding the phone. I wasn't gonna let go of my phone. I had the camera angle facing the wrong way because I didn't flip it around for selfie mode, but I was not gonna let go of that camera. Somebody had commented. I saw the comment. Way to hold on to the camera or something like that. The phone. Yeah, it was just instinct. I can't afford to have my phone get smashed and break on the ground. So I was holding on to my phone for dear life. But I think had I not landed on my forearms holding the phone, it would have been worse. But yeah, that GoPro going into my chest, it didn't feel well. Oh well, is what it is. Now we get to have our day in court if it gets that far off. On the what is it? All the way in July 7th, I think it is what they wrote. So my pretrial or my arraignment, whatever it's called, is July 7th down in San Diego. I don't care who knows it, so I'm going to broadcast it. Um, of course, I'll go in, plead not guilty, yada, yada, yada. Hopefully, the DA decides to drop it. It would be really nice. Um, here's my here's my side to it. I mean, you saw it yourself. The officer that came up, as he was walking up to me, he asked me if I had any. He goes, "You don't have any, guns or weapons on you, do you?" And my response was, "I'm just here documenting the scene." And then he went behind me. Didn't tell me I was detained. Nothing. For all I know, he just asked me a question and I made a statement, and okay, everybody goes on about their way. But the next thing I know, I feel what feels like a hand going into my sweatshirt pocket, um, which of course made me flinch, turn, and step away. That's just a natural reaction. I wasn't resisting a pat down. Well, we'll just leave it at that. If had I been detained, I wouldn't have resisted. When they finally said, "We're detaining you," while I'm on the ground, they said, we're detaining you. I said, "You heard it yourself." I said, "Well, I'm not going to resist." And they go, "Well, you kind of did already." Resist what? I wasn't even detained. The guy just put hands on me. I didn't, you know. So we'll see what happens. Once they told me I was being detained and I was on my, I was face down in the dirt. Well, of course I'm not going to resist. Here's my hands. He grabbed my hand, which had my phone in it. But instinct was to protect the phone, my electronic device that's filming. I didn't want it to get broken. You saw what they did to my camera. It went flying when they went to trip me. It seems okay, but gut instinct was protect. The only other camera that was recording, as far as I knew at that moment, my body cam didn't catch it. It malfunctioned or something, or when it hit the ground, it something happened. I don't know. All I know is my body cam is, right now is kaput. My GoPro's kaput. So let's see what we got so far. Hey, Mrs. Potato, how you doing? Where's police force? Leon Valley bad. Yeah, I agree. Hey, Furry says hit the like button. Tackle that like button. Hey, that'd be appreciated. But yeah, I just want to let you guys know I'm alive. I'm not coughing up blood. I'm really sore, and I'm going to be feeling it big time tomorrow, I can guarantee you. After I woke up from my nap and I got out of bed, my whole left side, I could feel it. I was like, oh, this isn't going to be good tomorrow. Ow, that hurt. But yeah. Well, the one benefit of this scare we have, I'm not going to use that word, but the scare we have going on right now around the world is they're not arresting people unless pretty much they commit felonies that do harm to somebody. It's so they cited and released. That would have been interesting if they would have actually taken me to jail for resisting and obstructing. But no, I may be off base. Never been put in that situation with San Diego police department, if they normally cite and release an obstruction charge or delaying an officer charge, if they always cite and release that, or if they actually arrest. I don't know. My first impression is because the whole thing that's going on around the world right now that that's why they cited and released. I remember when the paramedics got there and they wanted to put the EKG machine on my finger and stuff like that, but I was still handcuffed, and I called out to the sarge. I'm like, dude, you said you're going to cite me. Why am I still in handcuffs? Can we take these things off? You already patted me down and everything. Yeah, if you watch that clip I posted, all right, after they tackled me, they didn't even cuff me right away. They weren't trying to cuff me. The whole reason they put me on the ground was to pat me down and search for weapons. It wasn't to cuff me. It was to search me. All right? They never said I was detained, arrested, anything like that. Up to the point where I was on the ground. And then in an affirmed statement, he said I was detained. Yeah, I got a little mouthy. All right, let me check the chat here. Jason, where are you going? I was going to play a clip. You're going to miss the clip I'm going to play. You guys probably already saw it on Furry's channel. But I was thinking of playing a clip. Furry, well, I think she already put it up. But it's the third view. It's from Furry's perspective of them putting me on the ground. It's a little farther back, but it seems a little more clear. I don't know. But I was going to show a clip of that. But you guys have probably seen it all enough already. Where's that dead horse? I want to beat it. I wasn't begging for mercy. At least I don't think I was begging for mercy. Does anybody recall me begging for mercy? Let's see. Let's face it. It's not any joke. The police can kill you and get away with it. That is true. That's true. He's a troll. Oh well. I don't care. No, you weren't begging for mercy, but you were on your back foot. Yeah. I wanted out of the handcuffs. I was like, screw you. I didn't do nothing wrong. Anyways. What sucks, I don't think my camera caught it. I don't think my cell phone caught it because it overheated when they put it in my pocket. Maybe it did. I didn't watch the whole thing yet. But at one point, the officer that was keeping an eye on me while the sergeant was doing his things, I asked him, I go, so does your department have deep pockets? And he kind of sniggered. I go, your department have deep pockets? I was trying to talk my way out of the handcuffs. I was. I didn't do anything wrong. Who wouldn't try to talk their way out of the handcuffs? Uh-oh. Furry's in rare form in the chat, everybody. A lot of it was for the body cam, because when and if this comes to a civil case, I want the jury to relate. I didn't cuss at him. I got a little mouthy, but I never cussed at him. When I asked the officer, dude, get me off my face. Can I lean up against the wall? And he's like, yeah, you want me to help you? And I'm like, yes, sir. Or I said, please, thank you, or something like that. I was real polite. Because that's what a jury's got to see. A jury has to see somebody that they're going to relate to. So, my opinion. I want a jury that says, hey, this guy was there to cover a story. Cop walked up and just put hands on him for no reason. Didn't even say he was detained or anything. And that's what I wanted to. I want them to put themselves in my position. Thanks, Gab. Anyways, uh, you know, I've been doing this since like what 2013 or so, although not as much recently. And this is the first time I've ever been cited or arrested. I've been handcuffed before. DHS guy, he handcuffed me at the ziggurat, but no, it's the only time I've ever had a charge filed on me or a ticket given. Yeah, 2013. But again, I haven't been extremely active as I used to be. Work's been a pain in my backside. They could have charged with resisting or obstructing. It's a fine line. Well, the code that they wrote down, it says resisting slash obstructing. So I guess they're going either or. I guess they're going either or on that one. I don't lick boots. I mean, a lot of the videos I have on my channel of interactions I've had with Orange County sheriffs when I've been doing nothing but just taking pictures on the public sidewalk, and they know there's nothing they can do about it. I mean, I've been nice and respectful for the most part. Um, doesn't mean I'm a bootlicker. I like to treat people the way I want them to treat me. Now, if they do something I don't like and violate what I consider my rights, of course I'm going to get mouthy. I mean, look what happened. Look when I went out to Palm Springs. Now that actually wasn't on me. It was another YouTuber, and it pissed me off so much. I went out there and I was pretty much flipping off every cop car I saw outside the PD until the PIO came out. And after I calmed down, we actually had a decent conversation, that PIO and I, and it was a fairly respectful conversation on my part too. Although I did have to pause them occasionally and flip off another squad car going by. Hey, Shimmy Sham. Yeah, I'm in jail. Fake jail. It's representing my first arrest and my first citation, doing nothing more than documenting what public officials do out in public, gathering matters of interest for the public, and backing away from somebody that was trying to put their hands in my pockets without talking to me first about it and what they were doing. Anybody's gonna like jump, turn, and wondering what the hell's going on. Yeah, it was pretty cool having everybody out there. You're going through a brutal divorce. You have to buy a Visa card so you can get on Furry's website. I have to be careful how I swipe until the divorce is over. I can understand that. Definitely understand that. Especially if you live in a community property state. Divorce benefits the person making the less money. Uh, Mostly. equal division of the assets, even if one of the party, I don't want to get into that. One could be a couch potato, making the other one go work and bring home the bacon. Why they like a piggy bunny? Whoa, what's that? It's a time bomb. Pay no attention to the alarm going off. Now, one could be a Peggy Bundy, and the other one could be Al Bundy. And in a divorce, guess what? They're still in a community's property state. They're still gonna split it right down the middle, and then you have to work out child support and alimony and all that crap. Thank God I don't have to worry about that. I am not married. I don't plan to get married. Um, my other half she is just happy the way things are right now. I mean, what? Oh, she'll kill me if she sees this. I think it's been 15 years. I think it's been about 15 years we've been together. Wow, time flies. All right, I'm rambling again like I love to do. Let's go through chat here. What am I missing? What am I missing? What am I missing? Guns and badges. It's qualified immunity. Not so much the guns or the badge. It's the qualified immunity. That and the public record laws exempting most of the information they gather from, like the dash cam, body cams. I usually always get what I'm after with Orange County sheriffs, unless it's not about me. If it's an incident that involved me, they give it to me. If it doesn't involve me, they claim the exemption. Pretty much they say it's none of your business. Bull crap, it's the people's business. Mr. Scientifical, hey, welcome to the jail cell, man. Thank you for the kind words, Gab. Definitely. 11 years together here and not married either. Sonny. Well, good night, Gab. Guess you're going to bed. Yeah, depending on where you're at, it's getting late. It's still only 9:30. I don't know if you can hear that. I'm in my studio, but you can still hear the rain. What else am I missing here? All said and done, and if the police get you in front of the judge, they can lie out their arses, and yeah, if you have video, they could say you turned off. Yeah, definitely. Everybody see what shirt I'm wearing. I had layers on today, so all most people saw was my sweatshirt because I had my sweatshirt over my other. I have two of these. I had my sweatshirt over the other one because it was a little chilly out there today. That was some get up. That was some get up that Furry had. For protection. Everything that Furry was wearing has a reason. And it's not a speculative reason either. When somebody swings a board at you, and hits your camera or whatever, golf club, you name it, you're going to wear a helmet to protect your head. Somebody shoots you, you're going to wear a vest. It's just protection. Defense. What do they say? The best offense is a great defense? Something like that. Let's see what else we got going on here. Glad you got to film with Furry and Crystal. That was pretty cool. Yes, Lisa, it was fun. All things considered, it was fun. Didn't much like eating dirt, but whatever. Is what it is. Take one for the team, right? All right. What I thought was very interesting is we all piled into the car after all that happened, right? And drove blocks and blocks away. Parked. Furry went live. Posted the takedown or whatever in the car while he was in the car. Crystal got out and I got out. Crystal went to have a cigarette or something, and I go, "Oh, it's a good time. I need one too." So I got out to have a cigarette. Next thing I know, all these cop cars are blocking the car in again. And I'm like, "What now? What now?" And I turned my phone back on. I didn't go live, but I got it on video. And they served Furry with that temporary gun violence restraining order. But the weird thing is Crystal and I were out of the car. All right. And that same sergeant was there too. They could care less about Crystal and I. Right? Didn't tell us to back up, didn't tell us to move away, anything like that. Although we were a good distance away from the car. They were interested in Furry. They pulled Furry out of the car, handcuffed her, took her over to the other squad car. All right. Patted down, searched or whatever. Served her and handcuffed her. And I asked, it'll be on a video that I have of the whole incident. I looked right at the Sarge and I'm like, why is she in handcuffs? You think from when we left the area to now, since she was in the car, she may have put a firearm on her person? Yet, what about me? You're not handcuffing me again. You're not searching me again. I was in the same vehicle. Why only Furry? And the only reason I can think to answer that question is because the gun violence restraining order was on her. But that's an opinion. That's an opinion. Hey, Lisa. Still sore. And when I cough from smoking, not from being sick or anything, it hurts. I can feel it. I'm bruised. My ribs are bruised. I'm not coughing up blood or anything. I'm okay. I'm just really sore and my ribs are bruised. I could tell. They're bruised. My other half put me through a whole range of, motions I had to do to see if I had any pain, to see if I had any cracked or broken ribs. And no, they're just bruised. So when I cough, I really feel it. Other than that, I'm okay. Oh, I scraped up my poor little knee. That's the least of my worries, huh? Mr. Scientifical says that is why I wait up to an hour after auditing or cop watching. They always try to hunt you down for defending our rights. Yeah, I think the one snafu is where Crystal parked. We pulled into a strip mall parking lot, but it was right there on the main road, and they were looking, and they found. So Ow, see, I felt that right there. Ah! Oh well. If I would just stop smoking, I wouldn't cough and then it wouldn't hurt as bad. Yeah, one, I'm gonna feel it in the morning. Oh my God, my other Nancy, my other half. You think the cops did a number on me? I'm afraid what she's gonna do once I'm healed up. I may just be back in the hospital when she's done with me. When I called her and I told her, I'm okay. I'll be heading home soon, but just so you know, I got face planted into the ground by the police. She went, "What?" I thought she was going to grab her beaten stick and start heading to San Diego. And not for me either, but I may end up being the recipient now once I heal up. I think she's going to have me on lockdown for a while, at least till my ribs heal. I got to go to work tomorrow. That's going to be fun. I'll have to tell the boss no heavy lifting, but I'm okay. Denmark, good morning. Good to see you. Hello, did I hear you say when you were getting ready for the audit that it was your first time with an auditing partner? Yes. Yes. I've been making videos on YouTube, although the first 6 months was just if you go to like the my very first video, it's just stupid. It's like me playing checkers and uh, crosswalk adventures and stuff like that. Silly, stupid videos. But I think my first time making a video of an officer and putting it on YouTube was Orange County Sheriff's when he didn't yield in the same crosswalk when I was crossing, and I went up and I bitched out. Pardon the language. I pretty much cussed out the his sergeant and showed him the video clip. Um, that was way back in like 2013 or so. So no, and I've never, to my recollection, I have never, ever teamed up with anybody. I've always remained solo. Um, why the change? Oh, motivation. I was going and documenting a furry potato adventure. It motivated me. I mean, the plan was to stay back away, let furry do her thing, and just document. Make it like I'd make a documentary about furry potato. Next thing I know, I'm face down in the dirt. Hey Mark, I went out with Furry to San Diego. Furry Potato was doing an audit. I was in the background, kind of like a backup camera. I guess somebody called and said that they saw, I don't know, I haven't seen the CAD report, saw somebody with a gun, gave descriptions of Furry and myself and Crystal. Um, Nobody had a gun. I didn't have my case. I just had my camera equipment and my phone. No, this wasn't a tripod case audit. The cops came out. They first went after Furry, detained, handcuffed Furry, and searched her. Uh, Briefly spoke to Crystal, I guess, and then one of the officers walked all the way over to me, and wasn't even, I was I'm guessing right now. I'm guessing what about 40 yards away from Furry, maybe 20 yards away from Crystal. The cop walked all the way up to me, and as he's walking up to me, he says, "Hey man, you don't have any guns or weapons on you." And I said, "Dude, I'm just here documenting what's going on." Next thing I know, I have what feels like a hand going into my sweatshirt pocket, literally in the pocket. And it made me flinch, and I pulled back, turned, and I told him to take his. He grabbed me, and I told him to take his hands off me, and told him I don't consent to searches. They backed me up. I hit a fence. Next thing I know, I remember one of the cops saying, "Take him down," and I get tripped. My camera equipment goes flying, and I end up landing right on my GoPro in my chest, which bruised my ribs. And then they cuffed me. They said I was detained and cuffed me after all that. So I wasn't detained until after the attack happened. But I was charged. I was cited and released for resisting and obstructing an officer in the performance of their duties or whatever. And I'm going to have to go to court July 7th in San Diego unless the DA drops it. That's just going to be an arraignment where I get to walk in and say, Your Honor, I plead not guilty. All right, what am I missing? How am I in jail? This is a green screen. This is just an effect, an ambiance to my experience today. It's not real jail. It's just a video trick. I don't know if you ever seen like News Now Houston's videos. Sometimes he'll have space behind him with stars and stuff. It's the same principle. Uh, Jeff is here. Audits. What up, Jeff? Hey man, did you watch the cops take me to the ground and fudge me up? I got cited. I got arrested, cited, and released on obstructing. Yeah, it's all on video. It's all on video. And in my opinion, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a lawyer, don't take what I say as legal advice, but in my opinion, the difference maker is once I was informed that I'm being detained, I didn't resist. I even told him on video. You can hear me say, I'm not going to resist you. And he go, oh, well, it's a little late. You kind of did that already. They didn't tell me I was detained. They didn't do anything but put hands on me. So, all because I didn't want to allow them to perform an illegal search of my person. Cops can do pat-down searches, all right? But in a consensual conversation, they're supposed to have consent. In a consensual conversation, they have to have consent. Detained? For officer safety? Yeah, sure, no problem. Do what you're going to do, and wherever it goes, it goes. But in a consensual conversation, I shouldn't have to subject myself to an illegal search. That's irrelevant. At a brief moment, I didn't. I mean, I know the cop went behind me, and I can assume it was the cop, but I don't know. There was a guy rambling what looked like an African American guy, who was on the other side of the car that I was standing. He was on the other side, screaming at the world. I mean, for all I know, it could have been him. I mean, I realized right away after I turned that it was the officer. I still didn't want him to put hands on me. I wasn't being detained. He didn't tell me I was being detained. He was just copping a feel. Copping a feel. Yeah, that's my new word. Copping a feel. Should I trademark that? New hashtag. Cop a feel. Or copping a feel. He did. He didn't say a word. Other than asking me if I had any weapons on me, which I don't have to answer. I made a general statement. I'm just here documenting. Oh, I was a good what, 30, 40 yards away from Furry. Just documenting. Lawful suspicious. See, I'm in Australia. I'm not sure on all your laws there, but wouldn't they do the Terry v. Ohio frisks in that circumstances? I asked them after I was on the ground. I'm like, is this a Terry frisk? But still, in was it Terry v. Ohio? Or was it Brown v. Texas? I'm trying to remember which one it was. Where in the opinion they had stated that the officers, I'm trying to remember which one it was. The officers did or didn't surveil first. They just went in, jumped in, and they said no, no. Ow, that hurt. Yeah, my ribs. Anyways, we'll see how it goes. Hey Jeff, I appreciate you stopping by. Ah, nah, just bruise some ribs. Scrape my knee. It's no big deal. I'll be sore. California is not a stop and ID state. It's not. N-O. California is, in California, kind of like Texas, you do not have to ID to an officer until the point you are under arrest. They never took my wallet out of my back pocket. Never did. And when I finally got them to say that they're going to cite me, I said, so are you guys going to cite me? They said, yes. I said, okay, here's my ID. Go ahead and write your citation. Now I have standing. I have standing in court now, for sure. It's funny as the cop that wrote the citation put all my information on there, gave me my ID back, and then looked at me a couple minutes later and said, what's your address? I'm like, dude, it was on my ID. He's like, oh, can I see it again? Here. Take it. Do what you want. Hey, Mark, you got to run. Take care of you watching. Good luck. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it. Okay, it is a night stop, and this date the cop said otherwise didn't. Whoa, what? Noble, I'm sorry, I can't understand what you're asking or saying. Here's the deal. It's quoting California versus Quiroga. I don't even know if I pronounced that right. And a consent, it's logic. And going back to the search, okay, it's just basic logic. In a consensual conversation, I don't have to do anything. I mean, I never have to answer questions, but I don't have to consent to a pat down. Okay, and they give you an example. One of my videos, it's probably on a few, but one of my videos, too sexy for UPS. First Amendment test, too sexy for UPS. All right. Mr. Catwalk, Orange County Sheriff's Deputy, comes up to me, says, hey, can I just see your hands? Make sure you don't have any weapons. And I'm like, yeah, here. See, here's my hands. Just recording. He's like, can I pat you down? And I stated, no, I don't consent to searches. He didn't even try because I wasn't being detained. And he knew he had no legal justification to pat me down in a consensual conversation. Now, if San Diego tell the district attorney and the district attorney tries to tell the judge, oh, he was detained when they were searching him. Well, that's the only thing he can do is try to somehow prove that I was detained when I resisted the search during a consensual conversation or a consensual contact, because that's what it was. At that moment, it was consensual contact. I wasn't being detained. I felt like I was free to go until he put hands on me. And once I spun around and told him to take his hands off me, I mean, I even told the sergeant, I'm like, dude, dude. This would have been a whole, it could have ended or gone totally different. If he would have just been a human being, just come up to me, said, hey, look, and I can see you guys are just out here filming. It's your First Amendment right. Don't have a problem with that. The problem is somebody called and said they saw such and such brandishing a firearm. Would you mind just showing me if you're armed? Or would you mind if I just give you a quick pat down? I may have let him. Remember, I really wasn't there auditing. I was there documenting furry. So technically, I wasn't on an audit. I was doing a documentary on furry. So, I mean, I probably would have allowed him a pat down. But they never asked. They just went hands on. Yeah. Um, Carlsbad. I'll call that a detainment, although it was very brief. I was detained. I wasn't thrown down, but I was detained in Carlsbad. I was detained. I've been detained a few times, although briefly. One of my Fourth Amendment case tripod case videos in Newport Beach, down by the Huntington Beach Pier. A couple of Huntington Beach PD officers walked up and wanted to know what was in my tripod case. He said, "Is that a gun case you got?" And I'm like, "Oh, is that what that's called?" No, it's not. A case is described in law by what is inside it, not what the manufacturer intended it to be for. I'm kind of rambling again, aren't I? Where was I going? Oh, yeah, detained. So, yeah, this is the first time I've ever been put down on the ground. I have been detained numerous times, although briefly. Most of them have been very brief. But it's the first time I've ever been, put to the ground. It's only the second time I've been handcuffed on my audits. First was at the DHS, where was Ziggurat Building in Aliso Viejo or Laguna Niguel, whatever city that is. It's a federal building. DHS officer put me in handcuffs and then took me out of handcuffs and told me to leave the property or whatever. I think that lasted for like 5 minutes. Handcuffed. Yeah, I think it's the only other time I've been handcuffed during my audit, any of my audits. Definitely the first time I've been put on the ground. True. My movements today, my movement wasn't restricted until he grabbed me and put me on the ground. All he wanted to do it, and that's the thing. They weren't trying to cuff me. They put me on the ground to search me. You can see it on the video, on Crystal's video, and the one I put up that she allowed me to mirror on the video I put up a little while ago. I hit the ground, and they proceeded to search me and pat me down. They didn't take my wallet out. They didn't go into my pockets. They went around the waistline, my back. They were checking for weapons. But it was not until they figured out I didn't have any weapons that they decided to cuff me. Most of the time, I've seen people like on the news and live PD, the old TV show Cops, when they tackle somebody and put them down on the ground, they don't do it to search them. They cuff them first. And then once they stand them up and take them to the patrol car or whatever, then they search them. The cuffs come first and then the search. This is very fishy. They put me on the ground and they searched me first and then decided to cuff me because I think it was at that time they said, "Oh crap, he doesn't have a weapon. We're screwed. We better just double down on stupid." But again, that's just my opinion. Jordan says they broke your crap. Terry v. Ohio, dry frisk. That's it. Yeah. Crybaby. Who's a crybaby? Johnny, yeah. It was weird that they didn't cuff me right away. They literally just searched me first. S. Graham says, even not under pressure, SDPD and sheriff are bad here. They believe in shoot first, ask questions later. I can believe that. Can you imagine a Fourth Amendment tripod case video down there? They act like that when somebody calls them and makes a false claim. How do you think they'd act if they saw a tripod case on my backpack behind me, huh? We're looking into it. This just happened today, lawfully. We're everything's up in the air and open. Yeah, Johnny. That's what I'm saying. Danger's my middle name. David, no, I'm not in the joint right now. It's a green screen. I'm just doing it for the effect. Uh, just doing it for the effect. Suffered my first arrest as an auditor today. They ended up citing me and releasing me, but nevertheless, I was arrested. They don't shoot you there in Australia. They just like bashing you. We don't have the gun violence like you guys, so guns aren't very common. I believe that. Yeah, on Furry's last video that he posted, or Crystal's, can't remember which one. I think it was, no, it was Furry's because it shows the third angle of them putting me on the ground. You can hear the officer saying, "I'm gonna go talk to the callers or whatever, um, to see what they saw or whatever." So yeah, I definitely can't wait to the CAD report on this one. That should be an interesting read, don't you think? Uh, as well as if the DA doesn't drop the charges and wants to pursue it, well, you know what that means. That means I am entitled to a lot of discovery. I think such as body cam, dash cam, radio traffic, call for service, all that good stuff. Of course they had a smirk on their face. Of course they did. Anytime that they can go hands on, they just love it. They just love the cop a feel. You know what I mean? Jay says they don't care. Nobody will hold them. Nobody will hold them responsible, and the taxpayers are on the hook financially. Well, it didn't go that way in the Sagan Pen case. Yeah, they want to feel power. They want to feel, you know, we're the masters and you're the slaves. You do what we say, or else. Swamp Fox News. Look at that. It's super chat. Not solicited, but definitely appreciated, man. Oh, I'm tired. I think I'm gonna wrap this up here in a minute. How long have we been going here? Almost an hour. I usually like to try to cut my live streams off after at least an hour. I have the right to face my accuser. If nobody was harmed and the state presses charges against you, they can't produce the state as a plaintiff. Yeah, interesting. Hey, KP Nation. Yeah, I thought it would be a fun effect to have me in a jail cell after getting arrested today. You know, can't have fun with it. What's the point of being alive? Let's see here. What else? Let's read. Shimmy, I've been listening this entire time. Excellent stream. Hey, Shimmy, thanks, man. I know I'm just rambling, just reading the comments. It's one good thing about live streams that I like is I can interact and read what you guys comment and answer questions and dive deeper into certain things. It's just not me talking about whatever the hell I want to talk about. Although I do that too. I was arrested. I posted a video a little while ago. Um, I'll say it one more time, but really fast because everybody's heard it like 20 times now. I was in San Diego with Furry Potato. Crystal showed up. I was documenting Furry. I wasn't there for an audit. I was just a backup camera. I was there to do to gather content for like a little documentation video that I want to make about Furry Potato. Um, and I guess some people that lived there that didn't like the cameras called the cops and said that they saw a gun or something. Somebody was brandishing a firearm, waving it around. Who knows? Until I get the CAD report, I'm not going to know for sure. But the police say that the call said there was a gun seen. So they walked up to Furry, detained, handcuffed Furry, and searched Furry. Didn't find nothing. Briefly talked to Crystal. Furry was about 40 yards from me. Crystal was about 20 yards from me. And I'm 20 yards back just documenting everything. And one of the officers walked up to me, asked if he said, "Hey man, do you have any guns or weapons on you?" And I said, "Dude, I'm just here to document what's going on." And next thing I know, after he goes behind me, he's copping a feel. And it felt like he was going into my sweatshirt pocket. And not realizing that it was the cop at first, I turned around and backed away. And he grabbed me and pushed me against the fence and told me to stop resisting, and then threw me to the ground. And him and his buddy searched me. Didn't cuff me right away. Just searched me and patted me down. Didn't go in my pockets, but did pat me down. And then after they were done copping a feel, they handcuffed me and sat me against the wall, and I got arrested and cited for delaying and obstructing a peace officer. And the discussion we're talking about is if I wasn't detained and it was a consensual, casual contact, what did I resist? I didn't resist anything. Because once I was on the ground and they said, "You're being detained," I'm like, well, I get that now. I'm not going to resist you. And then the cop kind of smirked, laughed, and said, "Well, you kind of already did." But I wasn't detained or arrested at that point. All I know is I had somebody putting hands on me for no reason, and I didn't like it. So, there. There's that. Now you're caught up. If you look at the last video I posted, I think there's two of them, maybe one, maybe two. It shows. Um, it shows the cop walking up, asking me the question, me saying I'm just here to document, and then he goes hands on, and then I cut to Crystal's footage, which shows them tripping, him and his buddy tripping and planting me on the ground, which I landed on my GoPro that was strapped to my chest, and I bruised some ribs. Who knows what they were thinking? And courts have already said the cops don't have to say that you're detained for it to be a detainment. I can understand that, okay? But he walked past me. He didn't say, hey, I'm going to pat you down for weapons or whatever. Or, hey, had an interaction with me. Hey, man, we got a call that you might have a firearm. You mind if I pat you down? I wasn't there to do an audit. I said it 3, 4 times. I wasn't there to audit. I was there to document furry and be a backup camera. Just document the whole thing, the whole day, and his audit. Dumb Dukes, if we're not willing to die for something, we live for nothing. That is such a truthful statement. If this whole thing that's going around in the world right now gets worse, what the news had a fake news on TV. They showed a clip. I don't remember where it was. It wasn't in California, where the looting has started. No, that was. I think that was in California. The looting has started. They walked into a couple, man and a woman, walked into a CVS, went to the shelves and just started dumping what they wanted into their bags, and they just walked out. And then there was a guy up at the register who was filming the whole thing, calling them names, calling them scum, calling them out on what they were doing. And they just walked right out. Walked right out like it was nothing. So, I mean, most PDs, I'm surprised. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact today that they got a call about somebody brandishing a weapon or a firearm or whatever, a gun, I don't even think the cops would have showed up. For all I know, it was the second call, and that's why they lied about the gun, is to get the cops there. Uh, because most departments are on with this whole thing that's going on. If there's not a public health and safety threat, like somebody walking around with a gun and stuff like that, pointing it at people, or armed robbery, things like that, the cops aren't going to show up. At my work, we have called the police for shoplifters, beer runs, stuff like that, and they call back. We're waiting for the cops to show up to take the report and give them the video footage. And we get a call from the deputy saying, "Oh, we're going to take your statement over the phone and we'll pick up the footage sometime in the future after this whole thing's passed." Okay. You're going to do your job over the phone. You're not going to show up when we call. Okay. So yeah, and unless they feel there's an extreme risk to public safety, the cops aren't going to show up. That's an opinion. But I've lived it. I've lived it at my work. When you get a call, a deputy or an officer calls you back and takes a report over the phone. Says, "Sorry, we ain't coming. We're not going to risk catching something." Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Pamela, yeah, I'm sore, I'm bruised, but I'm okay. Let me see here. What am I missing? I don't get why they carry guns. Who, the police? So they can get a paid vacation occasionally. You never know when that opportunity to take a paid vacation comes around. That's why. When they say that when they get called they have to show up. Yeah, right now it's a lie. Before all this hysteria that's going on in the world, you know, I believe that. They get a call, they have to show up. But now that they changed their policy due to this whole thing that's going on, um, for officer safety and to the potential risks in spreading something or catching something, they're going to take reports over the phone. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Um, that lasted for a few days. Now, the other day at my work, we had to call um, for a theft or something, and they did show up. Trying to remember what it was for. I can't go into specifics or details, but they did show up. It's like, okay, we're still going through this thing. Why did you show up now and not before? I don't know. It's a strange, strange world we live in right now. David Bowen says the pigs here in Rockwall have been laying low as far as I could see the last month or so. I don't doubt it. If your department has like an online blotter or somewhere where you can look at call for services, you can see how many calls for service um, there was. Maybe investigate if they actually went on site or not. I don't know. But let's see here. Yeah, furry. I got a PayPal. Um, I think it's the top comment in that video that I had posted a little while ago. Let's see here. If you go to my channel and go to my about page, I'm sorry, go to my about page. It's on the very bottom. I can tell you that. Furry's back. KP says he's sitting 6 feet away from his computer so he doesn't catch a virus. Hey Becky, how you doing? There's been some very interesting information being put out, and there's a well-known physician doctor that is against vaccines. She kind of got ousted for uh, doing some work and doing a paper and writing a book on vaccines, immunity vaccines, and how dangerous they can be, and the relation and the stats regarding people getting polio and stuff like that. Well, a lot of our colleagues kind of ousted her for that, but she actually did a podcast. I found it on YouTube. I wish I can remember what I searched for, but she was on a YouTube channel. She did a podcast on somebody's YouTube channel, and her in her she talked about how these drive-through centers you can go to if you go to a doctor and or you call your doctor and you say, hey, I have these symptoms, and they say, okay, we want you to get tested, show up here and go through their drive-through thing. Okay, so you go in, they do a nasal swab, right? And now they're saying, or I've heard that those nasal swabs, they there's different types of corona. There's so many different types. It's not COVID-19. Oh, I said the flag word. I'm gonna get flagged now. Um, there's other COVID strains that aren't like 19, right? And people can be getting. There's no way that they know specifically just because they do that swab and then they test it and the test comes back positive. It doesn't mean it's testing positive for the 19. It could be testing positive for, you know, just normal flu. So the only way to be certain is like through blood draws and stuff like that. Is the second round of testing. Those nasal swabs, they're uh, they're no way exact. They're looking too broad. They're testing too broad. So you know what? I don't believe a lot of the numbers that are out there on this. I think if I remember right, she also said that um, if somebody's in the hospital with flu-like symptoms, could be just normal pneumonia, and let's say they're in a susceptible age group like 65, 70, something like that, and they die from it, okay? Die from just the normal pneumonia, but they have the symptoms that the coroners have been instructed to put on the death certificates COVID 19, even though there's no proof that that's the actual strain they died of. That's very suspicious. That's why I don't trust the numbers. Exactly one of the reasons I don't trust the numbers that they're putting out. On that video I watched, somebody had commented, "Oh no, I posted that video. Oh, I posted that video on my San Clemente Living page, one of my Facebook pages." And there was a comment, a local here in San Clemente commented, "I've been getting the flu vaccine every year for 6 years, and I've never had the flu. God bless those vaccines," right? You know what my response to her was? I said, "You know what? Good for you. I've never, ever got a flu shot, and I haven't had the flu in over 20 years. What's that tell you? Who knows what the hell they put into you, lady? Could have stuck you with the mark of the beast for all we know." All right, let me see here. Really, so what would be their motive to inflate the numbers, to lie and create a hoax? I'm not saying it's a hoax, okay? I'm not saying it's a hoax, all right? But this is the same pattern they've done before. Swine flu. I mean, you look at history, you just do a Google search on all the pandemics that we've had in this country, all right? And you look at the initial reported numbers. Was it CBS years ago after the swine flu? Years later, they went back and looked at the numbers that were first reported and then the adjusted numbers at the end. And it was something like out of the 40% of the confirmed cases ended up only being, in reality, 2%. 2%. But they had originally reported 40% infected. But it was really years later. Well, actually, it was only more like 2%. Yeah, we dropped the ball on that one. Sorry, everybody. Didn't mean to scare you. Yeah. I'm not saying it's a hoax. I'm just saying that I think there's a reason that numbers are getting inflated. I think there's a reason that they want everybody cooped up in their residences. It's just very fishy to me. But that's just me. It's just my opinion. Again, I'm not saying it's a hoax. I'm not saying there's no such thing as C-19. I just think it's being blown way out of proportion. Even with all the deaths that we've had so far, supposedly from this strain, it's dwarfed in comparison to the normal flu. I mean, get real. Think about it. All right? The only thing that's supposed, if this is real, the only thing that's scaring them that I could relate to is the fact that supposedly you're sick for 2 weeks without showing symptoms. So who knows who else you could come in contact and possibly they get it. I mean, somebody in a susceptible age group. I can understand that. Okay. But I think there's a deeper, darker, I don't have my tinfoil hat on again, but I think there's something else going on. Why they're inflating the numbers and all that. Where most of that $1 trillion package deal that they passed, where they're sending like $1,200 is the smallest amount. Like me, eventually, supposedly, I'm going to get this mystery check direct deposited for $1,200. You know who's getting the majority of that money? Business. Yep, business. People that already have the money are getting most of the money. More bailout funds. But they got to, they got to prop up the dollar. Where's that $1 trillion come from, anyways? Oh, yeah, that's right. They just print more. Oh, I don't even think they print it anymore. They just add numbers into an account. They get onto a computer and say, okay, one trillion, zero, zero, enter. There, boom. We just created $1 trillion. And then they just start sending out digits, sending out checks, sending out digits. And the majority of Americans, well, some will. I mean, like the lower, the people that are not as well off as other people, I'll say it like that. They may go to check cashing places to cash the check, and those companies will take a percentage of that money. But the majority of people that get that money is either going to be direct deposit, or they're going to deposit that check, that piece of paper, into their account. There's no real money there. It's just numbers. Next thing you know, you log onto your account and boop, or the receipt they gave you, look, your numbers went up 12 by 1,200. It's not real money. It's digital money. But all right, I don't know why I went off on this tangent. Oh, it's because somebody got me going on this tangent. People who get the $1,200 checks are going to spend it where? What country do they get the majority of their goods? Walmart and China. Well, that was the whole big deal with the shortage on like face masks and ventilators and everything like that, right? Is because we were getting all that stuff from overseas, from the country that was like the epicenter that it blew up in, supposedly, right? When this first started happening, and I decided I was going to start, just in case, better safe than sorry. I'm going to, buy a few more cans of food here and few more of this, a few more of that, and stick it in the pantry just in case I can't get to a grocery store. I thought about going to the 99-cent store and just loading up on, cheap $3-4 cans of SpaghettiOs. Then I woke up and I'm like, do I really want to buy that crap? You go to the 99-cent store and you look where it's like packaged and made. The majority of the stuff in that store is from China. Yeah, like I want to eat something from China. Like I want to touch something from China. You never know. And now I'm being paranoid. I can hear it now. Come on, say it. Junk, you're being paranoid. Yeah. Yep, it's my tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theory. The world's made in China, right? SoCal. Hey, Opie. The world's made in China, right? Acting on morals, not orders. Do you like the 69 answer now? Oh, you know what I forgot? Oh, and I could really use some right now. I was going to bring some medicinal into my studio. I forgot. Damn. Oh, maybe next time. Oh, you guys don't want to see me do the medicinal, do you? That's not what you're here for. You're here to just listen to me ramble. Holy crap. Wasn't I going to end this at an hour? It's almost an hour and a half. Jay, nothing wrong with being prepared. You never know what could happen, but at least try to buy American, support local businesses. 100% agree with that. 100%. Um, One of my favorite analogies along that line is asking people, um, do you have smoke detectors in your home or fire extinguishers? Most of them will say, well, yeah, of course. I'm like, why? Are you expecting a fire? Or do you have those just in case? You have, if you're not expecting a fire, rip those things off your ceiling and throw them away. You don't need them. You're being paranoid. You ain't gonna have a fire. Yeah. Hey, Shimmy. Appreciate it, man. Hey, Lawfully. You're out. Don't get me wrong. There are plenty of actual conspiracies out there, but a lot of people are just believe anything they hear. Yeah, I agree with that too. I'm not saying this whole thing's a hoax. I never said it's a hoax. I just think that things are being inflated. Numbers are being inflated, and there is something deeper at work here. Um, Supposedly, when this thing happened initially, it was the same day that we signed our new trade deal with China. Isn't that a coinky dink, huh? Zinc is flying off the shelves now. Oh, somebody claims zinc secure. All right, I'm probably gonna wrap this up. You have a huge garden. We can't freeze everything. Hey Johnny, I started I started canning with a pressure cooker. My stepmom, my dad taught me when I was young how to do it. When he passed, I was gonna bring the big old pressure cooker home with me uh, when my dad passed, but I forgot it and I was pissed that I did. It was like one of those freaking vault ones that are like $500 online. It was a really good one, really durable, really strong. So I just got myself an inexpensive one. It's working pretty good. Um, Yesterday, uh, we did. We're gonna go slow. I'm gonna build up. I'm gonna slow and incrementally. But I did like 6 pints of beef, 6 pints of pork. I was gonna do about 6 pints of baby carrots until they ended up on the floor because I set the colander where I shouldn't have sent it, and I turned around because my other half was talking to me, and my sleeve hit it. And next thing I know, they're all over the floor. And I'm not a huge germaphobe, but there's something about that 5 second rule. There's no way I was going to pick them up in 5 seconds, so they ended up going in the trash. So I still have to go buy more baby carrots. Oh, well, I got about 10 pounds of potatoes I'm going to be doing. I'll put those in. I'll probably put them in pints. I'm gonna do mostly pints. The carrots I'll probably do in half pints. All the veggies I'm gonna do in half pints, because it's just myself and Nancy, my other half. It's not like we have a huge family we gotta feed. So if we end up using, we only need a half a pint for a meal. And the good thing is they store for like up to 2 years, like 18 months to 18 to 24 months. So, and out of all the jars I did yesterday, I only had one beef that didn't seal. So I popped it open and had it for dinner. And man, you cannot believe how good that was. And it was cheap meat too, but it was almost like pulled pork, but it was beef, not pork. It just melted in your mouth. 90 minutes in a pressure cooker compared to 4 or 5 hours in a um, crock pot. And it came out better than the crock pot meal does. So yeah, we're getting the canning going again. Because worst case, down the line, who knows? Natural disaster, California starts to fall into the ocean. Whatever happens, whatever happens, the grocery stores get all looted out. You can't get food. At least we're not gonna starve. My goal is to have at least 2 years worth of food. So, all right. You're out, Junkyard, and everyone. Always enjoy your content. Stay awesome, everyone. Hey, KP, good to see you. Thanks for staying as long as you did. We do have 62 people in here right now still that are just listening to me ramble. And what did I miss? Jay says, given the current situation, the 5 second rule has been shortened to 2 seconds. uh, yeah, it was literally on contact. That's my rule. On contact. Sorry. I'm not even gonna wash those off and do that. Especially when you're canning, because anything gets into that jar, it'll just spoil. It won't keep. So you really got to be careful. Keep everything clean and sterile. Floor carrots. Ow. Ow. Don't make me laugh. That hurts. Ugh. Germaphobe is a bad idea. Let them eat dirt. Yes, Let Them Eat Dirt is a good documentary. Okay. Oh, wait, I was way up here. Let me scroll down. Alright, can I use the food saver for freezing as well? As ammo. Yeah, that's smart. Keep that ammo fresh. Acting on morals, not orders, is asking something very outrageous. Have you ever smelled a horrible crotch before? Answer now. Yes. I will answer that. Yes. You really want to get personal? Yeah. I don't want to go down too much in detail, but uh, I had been with a woman. This was years and years ago. This is like 6 girlfriends ago. I was with her, and I broke up with my said girlfriend at that time. And where I was living, I had a neighbor that I always knew had an eye for me, right? But it was really not somebody I was interested in. I was like, no, that's okay. All right. Well, being fresh out of a breakup and a little bit of, the H word, I got a little H going. And yeah, she invited me over. I went over there, and let's just say I'm surprised that Jimmy didn't like corrode. Yeah, yeah. And that never happened again. After that, I was like, okay, that's oh boy. No, thank you. All right. So yes, I have smelled a crotch that I wish I had never, ever, ever smelled before. Yes. Oh my God, it was. How dare you make me remember this? Oh crap. I'm like an open book though. I won't lie to you. I'm an honest guy. If I answer, it's the truth. All right. Now here's a sad note. I'm not going to say the name, but here's the sad note. about 6 months after that, maybe almost a year, all right? Because it was a one and done. Hit it and quit it, right? Oh, God. How dare you make me remember this? It was somewhere between 6 months to a year after that. She was still whooped. And every once in a while, she'd send me a text, and I just wouldn't reply. She ended up going crazy. I don't know if she had underlying mental issues or what, but she was, she literally went crazy. Um, she ended up moving into the same building I moved in. I think she was stalking me. I'm not gonna say she was stalking me, but it's just funny. She ended up moving into. She moved from her the house she had rented into the same building I was in, and um, I don't know. Maybe she thought that something would happen, but no. Well, I was out with one of my CB buddies, and we came. He's probably asleep right now, but if Rubber Ducky, every once in a while you'll see a guy Rubber Ducky comment on my crap. That's my old CB buddy, one of my best friends. He's in Ohio now. I was out with him. We were goofing off. We came back and we were sitting in the yard of the property. And she came out and she was ranting and raving. I can't exactly remember what she was saying. Something like, he was peeping in my window. He was peeping. He wants to be with me. Something like that. Anyways, somebody called the, it wasn't me, but somebody called the cops on her because she was having some type of mental breakdown. They literally took her out on a stretcher, and she was still rambling nonsense about me. Nothing terrible, but you could kind of tell there was like an infatuation there. Anyways, she ended up dying. She ended up dying. A few weeks after she was hospitalized. I don't know if she had like a brain tumor or something. I don't know the deal. All I know is she passed away, and I felt really bad. But oh well, it's not my fault. All right, I went way deeper than I was going to in that topic. Hey James, are you just getting here? You just popping in? Where have you been? Yeah, they let me do my live stream from jail, man. Just kidding. My green screen. You like it though? I thought it was fitting. Since I was arrested today, I thought it'd be fitting. I'm down to one arm because of a story like this. Wait, what? I have no idea equals what you meant by that. And I don't even know if I want to know. Crazy people don't wash. I know. I'm not going to say the other word. Oh, hey now. Careful making me laugh. That hurts. Oh, that hurts. Why stay in California where you can't carry a weapon for self defense against those tyrant thugs? That is a very good question. I've been asked that question several times. And one is I'm comfortable here with my employment. And I think I have the best landlord in California. I probably have the cheapest rent in California for my studio. Um, Never been increased, and I've been in this place for about as long as I've been with Nancy. It's been like 15 years. As well as, if you ever want to turn the tide in a state, why would you abandon? Okay? Why would you abandon this state? You're out on a boat. Man, you love this boat. You love your fishing boat. And then it springs a leak while you're out fishing. It's going down. You can see the leak. But you want to save the boat. Well, it's going down. Do you want to go down with the ship, or do you want to grab your sealer, or what's that tape stuff that guy pawns on TV infomercials? Flex Seal stuff, and you're going to patch that hole and save your boat that you love so much. You know, if you abandon, it's gone. You'll never get it back. That's how I feel about the state of California. The more Republicans and conservatives move out of the state, you're just conceding the state to the other side. You're giving up. What really needs to happen is we need to get an influx of like-minded people. Get an influx of people that want to change the body of the legislature in California and get these bad laws appealed or repealed, I should say. Not appealed, but repealed. Exactly. The worm will turn in California will make a comeback. I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? I don't want to give up hope, you know. I'm probably going to. I've lived other places, all right? My old man, before he died, he remarried out in Utah. I spent many a childhood summers, as well as some schooling years, out in the suburbs of Salt Lake City, Utah. I love Utah. Hate the winter though. Hate the cold. I like the snow, but only to visit. But no, but the summers out there. Oh my gosh, the fishing, the hunting, the shooting, the hiking, the riding the dirt bike. It's not like you go out to the desert and there's one little area you can only ride your dirt bike right here in this off-road vehicle park that we have for you. This one little section. That's it. Don't you dare go ride it on just any BLM public property you want. You got to stay in this one little OHV area. All right. Out in Utah, if there's a dirt road, you can go. Go. So it's and you don't need any special like off-roading tags or anything like that. You have to register it, of course, but you don't have to buy any extra permits to go ride your dirt bike somewhere on public property. California, man, they're in your pocket all the time. And look at it's freaking gonna go on 2 hours here soon. How dare you keep me talking? All right, let me shut up. I'll just keep rambling. What else have I missed? Still got 54. Hey, thanks for everybody just sticking around. You used to live in Park City, Utah. Ooh, that's nice. But that is so pretty. Never been to Park City that I can recall. I don't know. Maybe when I was a little touched. I don't think so. Not that I can remember. But let me see. I lived in Benyon, West Valley, Kearns. When I was real young, downtown Salt Lake City. My old man, before he passed, my stepmom, my old man, they bought a house and they moved out to Sanpete County, a little one-horse town called Fairview, Utah. Now that's a great little town, man. Out in the boonies. It's the kind of town, kind of like Mayberry, I guess, where it's just once the street lights come on, you don't see anybody. It's just a ghost town. It's a sleepy town. Anyways, the first live stream you did went for 6 hours. We're not going to go that. It's almost 11. I'm going to have to get out of my studio and go back inside where it's nice and warm before the rain starts up again. To get to my studio, I have to go outside. That sucks. Let's see. Well, what I missed, James? Is that second sentence to something? And could go any bar at 17 because you were military. But he killed one and injured five. You must have been talking to somebody. Killed one, injured five of the home invader felons, and they had to murder him in a cell. Oh, not sure exactly what you were referencing if you were talking to somebody. I must have missed it. I'll have to look back on the chat later. Figure out. You buy, oh, I'm back right now. MA2A1, 50 cal there when I was stationed at Point Mugu in 82. You were only 17. Ooh, 50 cal. The only, I got a 50 cal. It's a musket, but it's a 50 cal. It's a black powder rifle, actually, not a musket. It's a black powder. Actually, I have two of them, two different barrel lengths. One was my stepmom's, one was my dad's. Got them mounted. Ow. Got them mounted on my wall in a gun rack. That reminds me of gun rack. It reminds me of Wayne's World. I don't own a gun, let alone many guns that would necessitate the use of an entire rack. What would I do with a gun rack? It's a classic movie for you. Lawfully says, I'm in the boonies, lived here all my life, and never once in 38 years have had to lock my door. Good for you and scary for you at the same time. You have a .58 cal black powder? Yeah. My dad, I'm trying to remember what was it. I'm trying to remember what the caliber was. My old man had two black powder revolvers. One was a longer barrel than the other, just like the rifles. Uh, One I gave to my old man's best friend out in Utah. It's black powder. It's a replica. No background check or anything needed for it anyway, so I just signed it over to him so he could remember, have something to remember my dad by. Because I rarely go out and shoot black powder. At least I know that there's somebody that will appreciate it, that has it, and use it. You're an expert with your chainsaw. Yeah, chainsaws are great, but aren't they kind of loud? James has been expert for 30 years. Hey, I'm pretty good with my 7 millimeter mag. Um, I'm no sharpshooter, but I have. It took a couple. It took a few shots, not a couple. It took a few shots. But you know those Smarty oranges, the oranges that are about the size of a golf ball. Uh, I stuck one on top of a little dowel that you can get at like the hardware store, the wooden dowels. I stuck it in the sand, and then stuck it on top. And I have a range finder, but it only goes to 300 yards. Um, and I marked off 600 yards, and I missed, and I missed again. I didn't come close. So I went to the 300-yard mark, and I was able to hit the orange, the little golf ball size orange on the third shot. It just, of course, I think it was just a shockwave that obliterated the damn thing. But yeah, 300, about, I think it was a little under. It was like 286 or something, about almost 300-yard shot with my 7 millimeter mag. There was no wind. No wind. It was a very calm morning. Had there been a breeze, I can't do calculations on my scope. Never really tried. Windage and lift. No, I think I got lucky. Yeah, scope's probably off. Well, I think it was. I think my 7 millimeter mag, even though it's got a 40. What is it? 40 millimeter lens, and it's a oh my god, I can't remember. 10 by 30? No. I can't remember how strong it goes up to. I can't remember where the variable is. I haven't shot that thing in years. It's a shame, I know. I feel bad for saying that. I got to go out shooting. Maybe I'll do a shooting live stream. Take my computer out to the desert and we'll go shooting. How's that, everybody? When the weather changes, we'll do that. Anyways, yeah, I never got into the windage and elevation. I had it sighted in. I think I sighted it in for about 150 yards. But my my buddy, my shooting buddy. He was looking through my spotting scope. And the first couple shots, I was off to one side and a little low, and I got closer on the second, and then I just it was a lucky shot. It was. I hit it on the third. I just adjusted where I was putting the crosshairs, going by where he was telling me my rounds were landing, and I hit it. Obliterated it. Third shot. I'm proud of that. Can't you tell I'm proud of that? Blowing up an orange. I think I got a video on my channel blowing up like melons and stuff with the mag. I didn't get that 300-yard shot on video, but I got videos on my channel way back of me out shooting in the desert, blowing up. What did I blow up? I think I blew up some grapefruits and maybe. Oh yeah, I bought like bowling ball sized watermelons, maybe a little less than bowling ball sized watermelons, and blowing them up with my 7mm mag. That was fun. Made instant watermelon juice. Hey, thanks, Joe. I appreciate you saying that. People are trickling off here. I gotta wrap this up. We're in an hour and 47 minutes in. The orange attic. Ow! Stop it! Don't make me laugh. Oh man, I'm gonna be hurting tomorrow. Anyway, hey, it could be worse. I could be coughing up blood or something, right? Could be dead. Glad I didn't get tasered. Didn't have to ride the lightning. Have you ever shot a tangerine? Oh, tannerite. Should I even say this? No, I have not shot tannerite, but I have everything I need to make tannerite. I have the aluminum powder and the other ingredient. I'm not going to say it, but you can look. Anybody that doesn't know what tannerite is, you can look it up and how to make it. The thing is, it's illegal to mix it. You have to mix it on site. You have to take your aluminum powder and your other item, and you have to go out to where you're going to be shooting out, wherever that is, where it's legal to shoot, and you have to mix it there. You can't mix it and transport it. I couldn't mix a whole bunch of them and wrap them up and stick them behind the seat of my truck. If I got pulled over and caught with it, I'd be busted. Anybody would be busted. Yeah, it's not busted, but it's bruised, bud. SoCal, yeah. I don't think it's not broken. My girl put me through a whole bunch of stretching exercises to test, and it's not broken, but it definitely bruised. Hey, Lawful's taking off, I guess. Thanks for the stream, guy. It's been interesting, and I hope you get out of jail soon. Yeah. I just got to think of what the next stream is going to be in the background. Uh, how about like Spaceballs when they're going into like hyperspace or something? Nah, that's kind of boring. It's got to fit. It's got to kind of fit the theme of what I'm going to be talking about or what people want to talk about. We'll see. Oh, I know my knee's it's all scraped up and it's probably gonna be bruised, but got a lot of chest hair. I don't know how good the bruise is gonna show with all this chest hair I got. But my other half says my left chest looks a little swollen compared to my right. But who knows? Maybe I'm just an uneven type of person. Yeah. That was a joke. Ludicrous speed. Spaceballs. Call flood. But definitely, tomorrow morning we're going to check everything out and take photos. Hey, Joe. Thanks for hoping I feel better tomorrow. I'll take some ass for an awesome live stream. Thanks, man. I appreciate you just listening to me ramble and read what people are chatting and talking about and answering questions. Didn't have anybody call in or anything. I got to wrap it up, though, guys. It's going on 2 hours. James, definitely ludicrous breed, man. Ludicrous breed. For the 44 of you that have suffered through this, I really appreciate it. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Um, what can I say? You make it all worthwhile, guys and girls. You make it all worthwhile. And James, man, he's a diehard. Every time I post a video or I rehash a news story, he's always like, wow, should I say one of the first? I don't know if I can say one of the first, James. I mean, you're going to have to work on that. But no, it's like every video he's commenting. Just about every post, every video. And that, James, dude, appreciate you, man. Don't think I haven't noticed. All right, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Surprised my computer hasn't melted down yet. I gotta go. I'm gonna go relax. Take some medicinal. Get some sleep and pray that I can get up and function tomorrow. All right. Again, thank you all. We are going to go ahead and say peace.